It's popping YouTube back at it again, man. Got a very serious subject, topic I want to discuss with y'all, man. Just a couple of thoughts I want to share with y'all, man. I'm gonna get right into it, as y'all read the title. This is my thoughts on police brutality. You feel me? The ins and outs. You know, a lot of it is circumstance based. I feel like a good share of it is systematic. You feel me? Most of these encounters aren't just coincidental. You feel me? It's a system set in place for certain activities to transpire over a period of time based on, the systematic environment that's set into place. But I really want to talk about the actual interaction. You feel me? And what leads to these things, my thoughts, you feel me? You take it for what it is. These are just my personal thoughts. Okay, so I feel like the psychological, let's talk about the typical police officer, because when you talk about something, people want to think you're talking about all and every. So let's generalize it, but not let like talk about it in the, let's not include everyone, because obviously that wouldn't be a very accurate way to look at it. Okay, let's take the typical situation: white cop, black guy. Okay, now these white cops, a lot of these white cops, man, I'm gonna be honest, haven't went through no physical altercations. You feel me? And it's not to say that, you know, fighting and violence is the result, or, the answer to certain things. Sometimes it can be, because it gives you a certain context of what situations you're in and certain judgment calls, to then know how much force you need to use to pretty much assess a specific situation. So, for instance, I'm gonna just bear with me. I'm gonna play this scenario out, and this is gonna give you a broader understanding of maybe the two worlds that maybe don't understand each other. Okay, so got this white kid. Feel me? He grows up inside the suburbs, maybe. And I'm not. I'm being a little bit stereotypical, but ride with me, and then you'll see my bigger point. So, white kid, suburbs. You know, lives in a house. Doesn't. Goes to private school. Inspired to be a police officer. Maybe his dad's in the force, so maybe that's inspiration, or maybe his dad's in the military, so there's some type of structure background, that influence this person that wants to get into the police force, because all he sees is like, okay, I want to do better for my community. I want to make, I want to play my part in society. You feel me? And some of them have an honest heart with this, but I feel like the preconceived misconceptions could lead them down a path that they may not understand, only because they live inside of a perspective or a reality that's not inclined with the actual reality that exists in certain other circumstances. And I'm gonna explain that. So, yeah, this white kid, he grows up, he gets into the police force, never got into trouble, never really, you know, did anything bad, no crimes, no criminal background record. Obviously, you can't have too much going on in your background to become a police officer. That's one of the prerequisites. You feel me? So, knowing that to be the case, so you got this king, clean cut, never did anything wrong, only because you're placed in a circumstance where it doesn't advocate or tempt you or enables you or advises you to do wrong. So you're pretty much clear and out the way of the harsh realities that some of the people in different, tax brackets or lower communities have to go through. I mean, we all have problems, but I feel like it's by percentages. Let's be realistic. Okay, so then you got the police officer. Now let's throw this other circumstance out. You got this black kid, you feel me? Let's be a little stereotypical, okay? Mom and dad, separates, dad leaves the family. Now you got this single parent, household with a black child trying to find his way, his identity in a world that already rejects him as it is. You feel me? At every turn, you always got to overachieve and prove yourself and pretty much become an outlier to how your people is perceived for you to get certain opportunities to have a respectable living. So let's say that's not the circumstances, and he pretty much is a victim to the system and pretty much is another statistic. So growing up, not having a father figure in a disenfranchised community, you feel me? Not a lot of structure, lots of drugs, game banging, not a lot of discipline. You feel me? You got this very negative environment, and now this person is just trying to survive, and through the environment, you gotta avoid, like I said, all the things that come along with, just growing up in the ghetto, or just not having a great start. You feel me? So drops out of high school, because father's not there to be authoritative, no authoritative male figure in his life. Drops out of high school, starts selling drugs, start, doing girls wrong because, nobody ever taught them right. And there's a situation where, this black person ends up, let's say, driving, right? Driving, suspended license, maybe due to the fact that he has a job, but maybe wasn't able to, because when you're dealing with a limited amount of money, we tend to cut corners. You feel me? Now, there's no excuse for this. You feel me? We all gotta, go by the law in which it's set, the letter by the law. You feel me? That's pretty much the way it's perceived. Regardless of the circumstances, you have to, follow the letter of the law. So the white cop, you feel me, is first, I don't want to say first day on the job, but let's say he's in the force like a year, okay? Hasn't really did anything violent, just gave out a bunch of traffic tickets, couple of domestic violence arrests, but nothing too crazy, all right? So he's pulling somebody over, he's pulling his black guy that's over that is now older or whatever, and these white people aren't used to, how can I say, they're not used to interacting with black people on a sense. So they're already, they grew up with this preconceived misconception that, when you go to these ghettos, you're gonna find these, these people that don't care about themselves. You feel me? And pretty much when the police officer pulls the guy over, he already has in his mind what he's looking for, all based on how he was programmed. You feel me? These police officers are programmed to think a certain way before they get into these situations, so they respond in the way that they perceive things to be, because we have a natural thing of approximating when we're encountered with uncertainty. You feel me? So to go up, they're already thinking like, okay, drugs in the car. They're already suspicious. They're intimidated. You feel me? They ain't never been in no, physical altercation, and they're looking at it like, all right, all these guys do is just have guns, and they're terrified. They're police officers. You feel me? They got the badge on. You feel me? They are supposed to be the ones that, that's what they get paid for. You feel me? To not only protect and serve, but to be a contributor and a bridge, if you will, to the community, to uplift it and not tear it down, in a sense. So let me get to the point. All right, so the police officer comes and encounters the black guy. You feel me? The black guy, he gets his name checked. He may got a couple of records, or whatever the case may be. And the white cop makes a judgment call, all due to the fact that he doesn't think that he knows his rights. So he comes up to the car. He's already ran his record, his name. And through out of assumption, or just having the ability to feel like he has some level of suspicion, he's going to try to use a gray area, encounter a tactic to pretty much figure out what's really going on. Now, this is where I have a problem with, just people, I don't want to say white people, but people of authority or have some type of power. You feel me? They abuse the power and pretty much takes a step over the line to try to basically, you do something wrong with a good intent. You feel me? And your good intentions is at the cost of another person's situation you're violating. Feel me? So they're like, okay, I suspect you've been drinking or driving. Clearly, that's not the case. Asks him to step out the car. He refuses to step out the car. You know, they're going back and forth. Maybe there's a gesture or action. Then the police officer is already feeling timid, you feel me, due to the verbal back and forth altercation. And maybe, you know, by reflexes, he pulls out his gun and shoots him. Shoots him because maybe he thought he was reaching for something, whatever the case. You feel me? Some of these police officers are scared. They're terrified. You feel me? Some of them, they just want to kill people. Feel me? They want to kill people, but I'm just going to stick with the main point. Feel me? There's a lot of white people out here, man, that are police officers that's trying to do good and play their part into the community. But a lot of people don't know the ins and outs on how to communicate, which in the communities they're dispatched and they're directed in their zone and their, you know, their area, you know, in which they're, you know, deployed to pretty much patrol around. You feel me? If you ain't never been into a ghetto, you feel me, ever, and the first time you're entering the ghetto as a police officer, you're not doing yourself any favors because you're gonna have to learn so much within so little time. So this is the one thing that I want to just ask white people. You feel me? Because we have to do our job at the end of the day. But the one thing I want to ask white people, man, is you want to be a person that cleans up the community. Not clean up the community because that's sort of y'all mentality. You know, let me go in here, find these criminals in this fucked up environment and pretty much make the community a better place. Little do y'all know, it's a certain system that was set into place. It's not a coincidence why all the black people are in the ghettos. Who put us there? How did we get there in the first place? Feel me? Y'all have to see the bigger picture, man. So what I ask y'all, because y'all are just police officers, y'all not politicians, y'all can't change any laws or whatever. Y'all can have an influence by voting just like the next person or the next citizen can. But what I ask y'all is, man, take out the time, man, you know, to really put yourselves on the line. And I don't mean yourselves as far as your lives, but put your integrity, put your character on the line. And just talk to people, man. Talk to these young kids in the ghetto, man. Ask what's really going on with their lives, man, before you sit up there and judge them for what you see, man. Look around, man. Don't be stupid. Feel me? Don't be naive. Don't just play the part. Just take a second, you know, to step out of yourself and how you think, and really take a good look about what's going on around here, bro. You know, some may not care because it doesn't really direct with them, but it's just like anything else. You feel me? Like, y'all enjoy our entertainment. You feel me? And that's pretty much what y'all see. The only thing y'all see is what we're good for is entertainment. You feel me? Either we're competing against each other, or we're singing, or we're rapping, or we're shucking and jiving and tap dancing, and pretty much we're compromising our integrity for the entertainment of others. We're getting compensated for it, but at the end of the day, man, I mean, I don't want to make it about that. You feel me? But all I'm saying is, don't appreciate us one way and then not appreciate. Don't appreciate the art and not the character that came along with the art. It's synonymous. You feel me? Don't sit up there and respect this person's get down and how they do whatever they want, but not respect the character behind that at the end of the day, because all you're doing is being hypocritical, man. So, but that's besides all that. The main point is, man, y'all gotta really challenge yourselves to be more innovative, more proactive in getting an understanding inside of the environment that y'all policing, because at the end of the day, you're taking a suburb mentality and try to apply it and subject it to a situation that doesn't translate. It will never translate because we don't have the resources y'all have. So when you're coming in here like, okay, I'm a man, you know, I went to school, I graduated, I went to college, I got my degree, I never got in trouble, I am articulate. You know, I've studied and been very structured and disciplined. You know, to where I was able to be put in an opportunity to feed my family and play my part inside of my community. But how much of that is white privilege? How much is that is systematic, you know, nepotism? You feel me? And I'm not taking any. Y'all gotta do the hard work. You feel me? I'm not taking no work away from nobody. You feel me? At the end of the day, regardless of how it's set up, y'all gotta go out y'all way to do the work. At the end of the day, you feel me? So I'm gonna give y'all credit when y'all credit is due, man. But you can't. It's oranges to apples, man. And it's not to say we're not human or our hearts doesn't beat in the same. You feel me? The same place or the same situation or whatever, man. But you gotta understand, man, that you know it's not division. You feel me? But it is division. You feel me? It's not the the United States of America is the divided States of America. What I mean by that is every situation in every area, you feel me, has their own way of going about how they do things. You feel me? So with that being said, man, I'll make this video too long. I'll leave a part two, but this is just some things to think about, man. You know, like I said, you got your, you know, I don't know. Comment, like, subscribe, man. I'm leaving it at that. I'm about it.